Yes, can I help you?
Prepare yourselves. The first trailer for It Chapter 2 has arrived, and it's clear the sequel is going to be every bit as nightmare-inducing as the original. The trailer also shows us that fans can look forward to one of the most faithful Stephen King adaptations yet. The biggest surprise with this new trailer is that it isn't even a trailer so much as an extended clip from the movie. Most of the footage focuses on the adult version of Beverly Marsh, now played by Jessica Chastain, as she returns to Derry for the first time since leaving town at the end of the first movie. This scene takes place roughly midway through the novel. The surviving members of the Losers Club have recently reunited, and they've been instructed by Mike, now played by Isaiah Mustafa, to explore Derry and try to recover their lost memories before confronting it again. Bev decides to visit her father's house, hoping to find closure with the abusive man who traumatized her as a teen. The bruises on Bev's arm are likely from her abusive husband, who attacks her shortly before she leaves Chicago to return to Derry. As the trailer shows, Alvin Marsh is no longer living in the house. Instead, a kindly old woman named Mrs. Kirsch invites Bev in for tea. But as we see, Bev quickly starts to discover Mrs. Kirsch is not at all what she seems. There are tokens of her childhood, including the poem Ben wrote for her in the first movie, and a new photograph of It disguised as a circus ringmaster. In fact, this elderly woman is one of several new forms taken by It to torment the Losers Club. Eventually, Mrs. Kirsch mutates into a horrifying monster. We only see glimpses of that transformation in the trailer, but in the book, her form is inspired by Bev's nightmares of the witch from the story Hansel and Gretel. In the original story, Bev forces herself to pretend not to notice Mrs. Kirsch's transformation. As she makes her exit, Bev sees It's illusion fade and realizes that her father's old home has actually been abandoned for years. This is just one of several traumatizing experiences our heroes will be subjected to upon their return to Derry. There's one piece of dialogue worth remembering in this scene.
But you know what they say about Derry? No one who dies here ever really dies.
That's an ominous reminder that the Losers Club never truly eradicated the threat of It. But it's also meant to be ironic, as Mike tells his friends the town itself is finally dying after suffering under the influence of It for so long. One way or another, this will be the final battle between good and evil in the town of Derry. Following that lengthy Mrs. Kirsch scene, the trailer ends with a montage of other shots from the sequel, featuring both the young and adult versions of the Losers Club. We get our first look at the reunited members of the Losers Club here. From left to right, we see Isaiah Mustafa's Mike, Bill Hader's Richie, James McAvoy's Bill, Jessica Chastain's Bev, and Jay Ryan's Ben. There's one club member missing, and for good reason, unless the movie diverges from the book. Andy Bean's Stan won't have a very big role in the sequel. This is why Stan only appears in the reflection of the younger Losers Club members, not with the adults. These next shots show both the old and young version of the group traveling to confront It. The losers will have a horrific encounter at this Chinese restaurant. We can see here that Bill is still haunted by the death of his little brother Georgie, and still harbors romantic feelings for Bev after all this time. We can see our heroes returning to the sewers to again confront It on its home turf. Here's Richie facing his own uncomfortable encounter with It. Several shots in this montage take place at a carnival or theme park, which wasn't in the original story. This is one sign the sequel will be making some changes to the story we know. The sheer number of balloons in this shot is a reminder that It not only survived its first battle with the Losers Club, but has become even more terrifying and powerful with time. We're getting some major Poltergeist vibes from this shot. This shot again emphasizes the romance between Bill and Bev and gives us some idea of what to expect from the flashback scenes in the sequel. This looks to be a shot of Bev drowning in blood as she experiences an even worse version of the blood hallucination It tormented her with in the first movie. We also can't help but be reminded of the blood-filled elevator in The Shining. Here we can see the Losers Club joining hands for the ritual of Chud, hoping to finally banish It from Derry once and for all. The trailer ends with a scene where It lures another innocent girl into a trap, complete with an image of a tiny light being snuffed out by darkness. That seems appropriate. That's everything we found in the first trailer. Did we miss any big clues? Let us know in the comments. For more trailer breakdowns, check out what we found in the latest trailers for Spider-Man Far From Home and Sonic the Hedgehog. And for all things Stephen King, stay out of Derry and keep it locked to IGN.